You're watching a World Cup match. 10 players are running, defending, attacking, giving everything. And then there's one player who misses passes, doesn't track back, breaks team rhythm. Now here's the question. Does a great coach ignore it and hope the team magically wins? Of course not. Yet in offices, teams, and companies, leaders do this every single day. They notice underperformance. They feel uncomfortable addressing it, so they delay. And slowly the entire team starts paying the price. In this video, I'm going to show you a tried and tested leadership approach to dealing with underperforming team members without shouting, micromanaging, or becoming the bad boss. This is practical, this is real, and this works. First, why underperformance must be addressed early. Before we jump into actions, let's understand something important. Underperformance doesn't just affect one person. It overloads high performers, it creates silent resentment, it lowers team standards, and slowly it damages your credibility as a leader. Netflix once said, "A team with brilliant individuals but poor accountability will always underperform." And so dealing with underperformance isn't being harsh, it's being responsible. Now let's move to the 6 actions you must take. Action 1, address the issue early. This is the most common mistake and the most damaging one. Leaders ignore underperformance because they don't want conflict. They want to be nice. They hope the issue will fix itself. But ignoring underperformance doesn't protect the person. It punishes the team, and it quietly tells the team, standards don't really matter here. For example, football team. If a defender keeps missing goals, the coach doesn't wait till the finals. They address it early, privately, but firmly, because one weak link affects the whole team. That's leadership. Google is famous for its high-performance culture. One reason? Problems are addressed early, not emotionally, not publicly, but clearly. If someone repeatedly misses deliverables, it's flagged immediately. Not to shame them, but to protect standards. Now compare that with teams where leaders stay silent. What happens? High performers feel punished, average effort becomes normal, respect for leadership drops. What you should do? Address issues early, not emotionally. Stick to facts, not frustration. Address behavior, not personality. Action 2, discuss the issue and identify the root cause. Once you decide not to ignore the problem, the next step is conversation, not accusation. Here's a leadership mindset shift. Most underperformers are not lazy. They're unclear, unsupported, or stuck. Before assuming anything, you must talk. How to have the conversation, one-on-one, calm tone, curious mindset. Ask open-ended questions. Don't interrupt or assume. Focus on understanding before fixing, instead of, "You're not performing." Say, "I've noticed some challenges recently. Help me understand what's going on." Then pause. Listen. For example, movie, The Pursuit of Happiness. Remember the scene where Chris Gardner is late, struggling, missing expectations? From the outside, he looks irresponsible. But once you understand his situation, the story changes completely. In workplaces, the same thing happens. Skill gaps, poor onboarding, confusing priorities, personal stress. What your conversation should do: create safety, invite honesty, discover root causes. Action 3, align on clear expectations and a plan. This is where clarity beats motivation, or most performance conversations fail. People don't fail because they don't try or care. They fail because expectations were never clear. Leaders say, "You need to improve." But improve what? By when? Measured how? For example, Amazon works on crystal clear expectations, clear ownership, clear deadlines, clear metrics, no guessing. When expectations are clear, performance becomes measurable, not emotional. What you must clearly define: what exactly needs improvement, how it will be measured, by when, how often you'll review. Write it down. Clarity reduces anxiety. Plans create direction. What you should do: define 2-3 improvement areas, set timelines, 30-60 days. Decide how progress will be reviewed. Write it down. This turns pressure into direction. And as we're talking about clarity, expectations, and alignment, this is exactly where something like the Leader's Toolkit becomes relevant. Because leadership isn't about knowing what to do, it's about knowing how to handle real situations. Inside the Leader's Toolkit, leaders learn how to inspire your team without forcing motivation, how to handle tough conversations without damaging trust, how to make decisions that actually stick, so people follow through. And we didn't stop at the ebook. You also get a checklist to keep you focused, a resource cheat sheet for quick solutions, and a mind map that simplifies everything into one glance. Simple, practical, and powerful. I've added the link in the description below so you can easily explore it after this video. Now let's continue. Action 4, lead through coaching, not control. Once expectations are set, your role changes. You stop controlling, you start coaching. For example, great coaches don't play the game for players. They observe, guide, correct, and build confidence. That's how players grow. Coaching at work looks like asking guiding questions like, what's your plan? What support would help you succeed? Offering support, not takeover. Sharing experience, not instructions. Removing obstacles. What coaching is not. Hovering, redoing their work. Public criticism. Micromanagement says, I don't trust you. It kills ownership. Coaching says, I believe you can grow. It builds capability. People don't grow under fear. They grow under support and structure. Action 5, provide feedback and track progress. Feedback delayed is feedback wasted. Feedback is not an annual event. It's a leadership habit. Delayed feedback feels unfair, feels personal, feels overwhelming. Timely feedback feels helpful, feels actionable, feels supportive. For example, FIFA, Call of Duty. Imagine playing without scores, progress bars, performance stats. You never improve. Teams work the same way. How to give effective feedback. Give feedback early. Be specific. Acknowledge small improvements. They matter. Focused on actions. Use this structure. What went well? What needs improvement? What to do next? Monitor progress consistently, weekly or bi-weekly check-ins. Track behavior, not promises. Look for patterns, not excuses. Feedback is fuel if given correctly. Action 6, initiate formal steps. If performance doesn't improve, this is the hardest step and the most respected one. This is where leadership is tested. If you've communicated clearly, provided support, coached consistently, given feedback, allowed time, and nothing changes, then leadership requires firm action. It's responsibility. For example, many companies fail not because of bad strategy, but because leaders tolerated poor performance too long. Formal action may include a structured improvement plan, role change, reassignment, or exit from the organization. Formal action protects team morale, standards, trust in leadership. How to do, be firm but respectful. Be consistent across the team. Leadership is choosing what's right, not what's comfortable. Remember, fairness beats comfort. Second, how you can help and improve as a leader. Sometimes underperformance isn't about the employee, it's about how we lead. Ask yourself, did I set clear priorities? Did I give feedback early? Did I provide the right tools? Did I lead by example? Ways you can help more. Invest in training and upskilling, improve onboarding and role clarity, reduce unnecessary workload, align tasks with strengths, lead by example. Avoid public shaming, vague feedback, or ignoring your leadership role like overmanaging or unclear expectations. Don't delay. Patterns worsen fast. Great leaders don't just fix people, they fix systems, clarity, and communication. Underperformance doesn't disappear with hope. It disappears with leadership. Leadership that is clear, not vague, supportive, not soft, firm, not fearful. When you handle underperformance well, you don't just fix results. You build trust, standards, and credibility. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hype it up. It helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and comment below. What's the toughest leadership challenge you're facing right now? And check out our next video on how top performers get promoted so fast. Click here to watch it next.